Can y'all hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, good, 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 good.
Yes, I'm good.
All right, I'm so glad all of y'all are here. Let me, everybody cross your fingers because I'm going to share my screen. Okay, it worked. And we should still be recording. Okay, we are recording. All right, so how many people do we have in here? Okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and get started. And let me set my timer, so I have an idea how long we've been going. So my name's Kit Whitehill. I am the first vice president of special events. I'm from Coppell, Texas, Coppell Republican Women. And I am thrilled you guys are here. And there's no way we can possibly cover everything that has to do with presidents, but hopefully you're going to have several takeaways today. And please feel free. I think we can use the chat. If you've got questions, put them in the chat. If everybody can stay muted, that would be great. And I would love to see in the chat, though, where you guys are from, what clubs you're from. Are you a current president? Are you a veteran president? Are you thinking about becoming a president? I'd love to know that kind of thing. And where is my chat with this big thing? Oh, well, I'm not sure I can find the chat since I'm sharing my screen, but all right, let's get started. This first clip, this first slide is a quote from my husband. And great leaders, I think we can change it to great presidents. Great TFRW presidents don't accomplish great things, not by themselves. They enable and empower ordinary people to accomplish great things. And that's our job, I think. It's definitely a team effort to be on your club board. And when I was president, I reminded my officers that all the time, you know, we don't do this alone. And they were always having to remind me of things to do. All right, sometimes my slide is a little slow moving, but it's going to change in just a second. I know it is. Yeah, let's turn that off. Okay, and let's be sure. Yep. Okay, several things about effective presidents. As the president, you are the cheerleader for your club. Really, anywhere you go, when you are out at children's sporting events, when you're at the grocery store, when you're at church, book club, people know you're in a Republican Women's Club. They know you're a member of TFRW, and everything you do, you're the face of TFRW and your club. And the way you interact with people could make people say, you know, I'm interested in that club that she's a member of. She seems like she's got it together. I think I'll check them out. And so that's very important. Networking, one of the greatest benefits for me to TFRW is the networking. I came into TFRW really not politically active. And so I had a lot, and I still have a lot to learn. And but attending the board meetings and attending other Republican Women's Clubs meetings in my area, I have learned so much, met so many amazing women, and you can bring all those things back to your club. And I just think it's invaluable, the networking that we have available to us. Also, as president, I always had 2 or 3 clubs that I really thought did it right. You know, their websites were great, their newsletters were great, they had great programs. And so I don't think there's any shame in having clubs that you go to for a source, and whether that's to find speakers, whatever. So look around, see if there's some, they don't even necessarily have to be in your area, but that's a good resource for you. And presidents, officers, I can't tell you the importance of going to the board meetings, the workshops, leadership day, legislative day. I know it can be expensive and I know it can be time consuming, but going to a board meeting, you learn so much about TFRW. You learn what's going on currently. And again, that is your great opportunity to network. So I hope that you, and so many things that you can then take back to your club and use to improve your club and educate your officers and your club members. So I highly recommend that. Our next board meeting is April 9th, that weekend. And then the board meeting after that will be in July. And then the next one's going to be the convention in October. So training our officers well, that is definitely a responsibility of a president. And whether you have a 1-year term or a 2-year term, even if you have a 2-year term, I recommend each January you and your board do a retreat, take a day, a planning day, whatever, and plan for that year. And I hope you all know that in the leadership handbook and also on the website, there's job descriptions for every position on your board. And as the president, you need to get those to those officers, and that doing that is also some points for your Club Achievement Award, giving those job descriptions to your officers. But they need to have all their resources so they can do the best job possible in their position. Also, if you haven't looked at the NFRW website, they have some good sources for some of the positions. They have for treasurers, presidents, and maybe membership. There's some great resources on NFRW website also to go and explore. Bylaws are so important. You need to know those bylaws so you don't, run into any problems. Keep them up to date. We will have some bylaw revisions, I think, at the convention. So in October, and then club bylaws will need to be updated to reflect those changes. Deadlines for awards and submissions, critical. This, like I said, this is a convention year, so this is an awards year. And that means a lot more extra work, but so something else to keep up with. I hope each club has a awards chairman that can help you with keeping up with all that. Our club was fortunate to have an incredibly detail-oriented woman who really made sure we were on top of things we needed to be on top of. And then just, going through all these things, the TFRW and NFRW resources, we're going to talk some more about other resources. I'll have some more here in the presentation. It's coming up. It's coming up. There. All right. Of course, you need to be available to encourage communication. The tone for the club really starts at the top with the president. And so that's something to always consider, being an encourager, being a good communicator, that will trickle down through all your officers and into your membership and creates a very positive, effective club. So know your deputy president and district director. I hope you all know who is yours. Now, there are some, I think there's some regions that may not have a deputy president right now. Your district director is your link to TFRW, and she is there to help you in any way. And if you're having any kind of problems, any kind of conflicts, even if you just have questions, what are these awards thing? What is this? Anything, you can start with your district director. Also, if you have a club president and if you have identified those clubs that you think operate really well, you can also talk to another president. But officially, your district director is your first line of communication with TFRW. And it would be good. Your district director and your deputy president should be on all your email lists and should always be invited to all your meetings. And hopefully they can come and join you. And it's good to make them honorary associate members of your club. So, because if they were to join all their clubs that they, are district directors or deputy presidents for, that would be a financial burden. So it's nice to let them know they are an honorary member, and you would love to see them anytime. And of course, always, always, always thank your officers, your chairman, your members for all their hard work.
Hey, Kit, I'm sorry, but you said that you can't see
Okay.
our chat.
So
How are
let's
we
see, I think
supposed
we
to
skipped
ask
some.
questions?
So where can you find the answer? You know, we talked about some things. Where can you find answers to all your TFRW questions? And there, we have so many resources. So we're going to talk about resources right now. The first one is our TFRW Today newsletter. Comes out every month on the first of the month. And I hope you guys, when you get it, you are taking time to sit down and read that newsletter. Every officer, almost every issue, every officer has an article full of good information for you and your club and your other officers. And when I was president, I tried, didn't always happen, but I tried to go through it. If there was really an exceptional article for membership or programs, I made sure to point out to them, you need to go read this article this time. And then let's discuss it at the next board meeting. Campaign activities, Corinne Miklosh always has great articles about campaign activities, and campaign activities is something that can be confusing about hours that you can report, things you can do. So she's always got very helpful articles, and this one, you know, told you other things you can do to earn hours when we're in the middle of a pandemic. Okay, like I said, it's a convention year and it's an awards year. I hope you all noticed this article in the last newsletter, maybe the one before too. Janice Holt is in charge of our awards, and this is exceptional what she put in here. She's got each and every award, who to contact, how to contact them, and the deadline date for the award. A lot of dates have an August 1st deadline, but some don't. Like your Caring for America award is through NFRW, and that's due, that's due June 1st. So things can slip up on you. So this is a great thing for you. It's excellent. Hopefully your awards person has this, but this is a great planning tool that everyone should take advantage of. Also, in our last newsletter, we had an announcement about our 2021 Candidate Development School. We do this every other year, and it's fabulous. I think, I'm not sure, some of you may know, I think this is the third time we've done it. And there's 15 women maximum. It's 8 weeks, virtual 2-hour sessions. It's only $49. And anybody you know that is interested in becoming a candidate, this is a great program. And I think several of our women who have done this in the past have run for office and have been elected. So the application is due April 16th. So if you haven't shared that with your club members, you might want to put that in your newsletter and let them know about that opportunity. Because that's what we're here to do. We're here to recruit good candidates. You know, we can't impact nationally what's going on a whole lot, but we can have an impact here in our little corner of the world. And what we need to focus on here in Texas is getting great candidates for 2022 and training those candidates. And also, again, doing our tremendous voter registration efforts that we had this last election. Okay, another resource, of course, our fabulous website. And I hope everybody, it moves when I don't want it to move. And when I want it to move, it doesn't fast forward. I hope all of you presidents have logged in to the TFRW website. And I know a lot of, and I hope you do a training with your club members on how to do it so that they can get in and can use the resources. It just requires your email that TFRW has and a password. Now, if you haven't already done this, it's very simple, or if any of your club members haven't, they just up here, it says, forgot my password. So they click there and then it'll take them to this screen. And if they enter their email address, hello, kitty. Robin, no, that's fine. My dog is usually sitting in my lap, but not today. Enter their email address that TFRW has and click get new password. And that will go to the office and they will send you, I believe, send you a temporary password. Sometimes if you're having, or if anyone in your club is having trouble logging on to the TFRW website, it might be that they changed their email. since they first joined TFRW, or could be when the club sent in the membership submission, maybe there was a typo for their email. And so their email is not connecting. So that can easily be fixed in the office, so long as you contact them and let them know, and they can help out with that. But once you're into have your login for the website, then you can get into the member section. And in the member section is incredible information for every member in TFRW. And this is the general forms and documents part of that page. And you'll see, we talked about giving your club officers job descriptions. Well, all of the job descriptions are right here individually. So you don't have to go into the handbook. You don't have to print them out through that. They're just right here for each officer and for you to find. Very easy, very simple. Also, your form for election of officers that's due January 1st. Hopefully everybody got that in, and that's here. Also, this is where our TFRW handbook is, and we'll get to that in a minute. And if anybody wants to have Glennis come speak at your club, your president speaker request form is also right here. And your installation ceremony and oath of officers can be found there. All right, here's some more on the page, and you'll see right here where it says members only. This is what you click to get into all of this information. Excuse me, a little water. Campaign activities section has a lot of good information because campaign activities can be confusing. So there's lots of information about that. There's a directory of our board of directors, and other great information is right here. Also, there's sample bylaws if anybody's needing to that. Okay, did y'all know we have a speakers bureau? And this is also in the member section. This is Alice Malashan. I don't think I said that right. I apologize, Alice. She is in charge of programs, and she set up the speakers bureau. And I believe there's like 3 pages of possible speakers on here, and they are fabulous. And we use this frequently. So I encourage you to use this when you're trying to get ideas for programs. And if you do have a speaker that you think other clubs would enjoy, let Alice know, and she can add it to the speakers bureau. It's a great resource for all. Excuse me. So here's our handbook, and every question you might have, the answer's in here. It is big. It might take a little while to find the information, but this is part of the table of contents, and you'll see TFRW information is first. Purpose, our organizational chart, the bylaws for TFRW, all these things are right here. History, which is very interesting and good to share with your members. And then you have your executive committee job descriptions. If any of you are interested in running for a position, which I hope you are, you can read the job description about those positions right here. You may have seen, hopefully saw in the newsletter, that our nominating committee was elected, and they will be doing interviews at the July board meeting for the elected positions. I believe that applications for elected positions are due June 1st, but I hope everybody will think about it and encourage members in your club and your other officers to consider taking on a leadership role within TFRW. Another leadership role is being a district director. There are all district directors and special committees, which will pop up in a second, are appointed by the incoming president. And let's see, I think it skipped it. Yeah, district directors. And then these committees down here, I'm trying to see, special committee chairman, I was trying to think of the ones. Community engagement is a voting position. I can't remember what the other 2 are, but all of these positions are appointed by your president. And you can read over these, see what is involved in all of these positions, and consider letting the new president know that you'd be interested in serving in one of those positions and getting more involved. Also in the handbook, again, it has all the job descriptions for all the local officers, but there's a tip section, which I love. And any information you might need, our disclaimers can be found in there. I have some of these in my PowerPoint here, but meeting protocol, flag protocol, I think that's a topic that you, if you present at a club meeting, can give you some points for your Club Achievement Award. Fundraising, tips for your treasurer. You can get to our TFRW website. And then at the end, it's 185 pages. So there is a lot of information in here. But the end is information on NFRW. And it shows their structure and history about NFRW. So this is the sample agenda that can be found in the handbook. And this is very helpful for new presidents and maybe even for veteran presidents. It's good to read over. Roll calls, reports. This is very good to, just have in your back pocket. How to conduct an effective meeting. I think these are great tips. And we're going to talk some about them, but conducting an effective meeting doesn't start at the meeting. It starts well before that. So you might want to read over all these tips about before the meeting, at the meeting, helpful tips for the president. It's another great resource for you. Everybody knows we need to use disclaimers on everything we put out, right? I hope that's pretty basic. I hope everybody knows that. It's easy to forget. And there's several different versions here. So be sure, that's very important. I mean, it's on our constant contact announcements about our meetings. It's on everything that goes out. All right, so the Club Achievement Award, what is that? And Club Achievement Award in the past has been called the John Tower Award. And this award runs for the 2 years during the term, of the officers of TFRW. So this Club Achievement Award coming up started in January of 2020 and will end December 31st. And as you'll see at the bottom here, it lists the categories that you can earn points in to get the award. We don't have the Club Achievement Award so we can win an award. It's not about that. The Club Achievement Award, there was a lot of thought that went into everything involved in this award, but this keeps your club on track. If you're doing everything within the structure of this award, your club function, your membership developed programs, all of that, this is your guideline to having a very effective club. And it's kind of like almost your Bible, to just keep yourself operating as a good club. And so again, it's important to have somebody. Before we had an awards chairman, we were not able to keep up with everything very well. We tried our best, but we weren't able to. So I hope, and I didn't make slides for all of them, but on the website where it talks about the Achievement Award, it has two really great, it has an application to send in for getting the award, and it also has month by month breaks out things you should be doing to get the award. And there are certain things that are required, and then there's certain things that give you bonus points. So take a look at that, and I would love to see everybody here getting a Club Achievement Award at convention. All right, has everybody been on the NFRW website? I hope so. NFRW website also has even more great information. And again, you set up a login and a password similar to how you do with TFRW. But they have, as you'll see right here, they have an incoming club president orientation. I didn't know about this when I first became a president, but I found it later. And it was still beneficial information for me. Oh, I don't know why you're moving. And also, as a club president, I don't know, has everybody updated you have a club profile page on the NFRW website. And it's the president's responsibility to update that profile page. So if you haven't done that, you need to look into doing that. And there's instructions for how to do it. So that's something you need to do, because because people do go to the NFRW website and TFRW and they look up clubs and, well, okay, well, I just moved to Houston and I want to get involved. So I don't know where to find a club. So they will go to NFRW or TFRW. Then there is also this checklist for success. I think it's on the next page too. No, it's not. There's an NFRW deadlines calendar because, some of the awards are through NFRW. So they've got deadlines for that. But it was on our awards article that was in, Janice Holt put it in her article for the NFRW awards also. That was in the newsletter. So, but search through there, find lots of good information. I hope some of you have been watching our President Ann Shockett's Fast Forward videos. Each week she does one. I don't even think they're 5 minutes long, but they are full of good information and current information and suggestions on things that we can be doing to, work for candidates and to help save our country and our conservative values. But they're very good. I love these, and she's doing a great job. Okay, and here is the checklist is here from the NFRW website, the rest of that other page that I showed you. And you'll see there's down here, what I really copied this for was this leadership resources at the bottom. There's guidelines for club involvement in federal races. Federal races are very tricky. And we could get our clubs in trouble. We could get our federal candidates in trouble since we are not federal PACs. We're state PACs. So there's information on that. Policies and procedures, membership resources, just again, much more information to help you be the best you can be. Okay, I said it's a convention year. And the first convention is the NFRW convention. And it is September 23rd through 26th in Orlando. And you can go on there by hashtag launching leaders. You can find information about it. I went to my first NFRW convention 2 years ago. And, I have always been so impressed with our speakers at TFRW, but a national convention has even more incredible speakers. And I learned so much, and I met women from all over the country, women from Alaska, Hawaii, everywhere. And again, gathered so much more information and got so many more ideas. And, when you're networking, you're also having fun and making friends that you never would meet any other way. So I highly recommend, again, the conventions can be expensive, they are time consuming, but if you can go, I highly recommend it. I believe that each club has one delegate and one alternate, I believe. I didn't get to confirm that before I did this for the NFRW convention. But, guests, any number of guests can go to the convention. So check that out. And then our convention, our TFRW convention is going to be October 13th through 16th in Round Rock at the Kalahari, which I don't know how much y'all know about the Kalahari. It's a brand new resort. Yeah, it is good. It's a brand new resort. Kalahari, there's I think 2 or 3 up in the Northeast. This is their first one in our area. It is huge. If you're familiar with Great Wolf Lodge up here in my area, which has indoor water park, huge. This is like Great Wolf Lodge on steroids. So much for families to do. Half of it is beautiful. It's an Indian theme, not Indian, I'm sorry, African theme. And the decor is just beautiful. But like half of the resort is for families and to go do the arcade and the water park and things like that. They have a great pool outside for anybody. And then the other half of the resort is for conventions. And I was there this week. We had, like I said, they just opened in October, November. So we had done walkthroughs while they were building, but we hadn't gotten to see it yet. And so several of us went down on Tuesday night, the Texas Young Republicans had their gala dinner there. So it was wonderful. Were you there, Robin? They did a fabulous job. And it was great to see it in operation. And we also had a long appointment. The convention chair is Mary Heffernan. and she's incredible. And so she had an appointment with our Kalahari rep for like 2.5 or 3 hours, and everything is perfect. It's in line. It's going smoothly. The food was very good. Service was very good. So I highly recommend going to that convention. And again, learning so much when you're there. Okay, so, oh, and I believe they're going to open up the sign up in May. I think it's going to be earlier than it has been in the past. So what happens at a convention? You know, most importantly, we elect our new executive board. The delegates are the ones who can vote. Also, we will break on Saturday morning, we'll break into Senate district caucuses, and you will elect your new district director. So it's very important to get people there for your Senate district to elect a district director. And it's really important, presidents, and if you know, if there's other clubs in your area, to really start talking. I mean, maybe your current district director plans to stay on, but if not, it's really important to start trying to recruit someone, you know, who would be a good district director. And instead of getting there at the convention and going, I wonder who's going to be our district director. That doesn't turn out very well. Of course, we get to hear from all of our statewide elected officials, and we get to hear very interesting speakers across the country. On Thursday morning, there's always a candidate meet and greet, usually with about 30 candidates probably, where you can go, you know, statewide candidates, judicial candidates, state reps, state senators, and you go through and talk to each one, ask them any questions you want to ask them, get to know them a little bit. And that's a fabulous opportunity to hear from them. There's a dinner where we will honor our 10 outstanding award winners. And don't forget, there are always vendors at the convention, usually about 40 vendors. So that's a good opportunity to shop. And then it's an extra event, but on Saturday night, after the convention is over at lunch, Saturday night is the dinner honoring the president. That's a separate ticket. It's usually about 100 people that attend, but we are really looking forward to honoring Glennis and thanking her for all of her hard work. And once again, this is where you can network with incredible women from around the state. And so I think the next, oh, I skipped one. So how are delegates and alternates selected? So each club, this is why it's important to get your membership up. Each club can have one delegate for every 10 members, and then one delegate for, you know, members between 6 and 9. So if our club had 67 members, we could have 6 delegates and then one more for the, you know, for the 67. So we could have 7 delegates. And the same with alternates. You can have the same number of alternates. And generally alternates do get moved up because not every club sends their full allotment of delegates. So, and again, visitors can come to our state convention. So, and you need to look in your bylaws to see when you elect your delegates, because sometimes people, since it's in October, and I think the delegates have to be sent in 30 days in advance. Anyway, sometimes it can slip up if you're not meeting in the summer, you know, so you need to plan ahead and just be sure you know when you're going to be electing your delegates and alternates. Okay, come on, little slide. Okay, so just kind of wrapping things up, some 15 qualities that make good leaders. I did have one quote I didn't get in here that I really like, and it says, a good leader takes a little more than her share of the blame and a little less of her share of the credit. So, you know, even if something happened and, you know, say our membership, something fell through the cracks, it's still ultimately our job to be sure that everything is running smoothly. So, and again, like I said, it's a team effort running a club. So these are great qualities that can help you be the best, most effective president that you can be. Oh, wait, there's more. Okay. Of course, all of these all of these. I think everybody probably has, but it's just good to remember that you need to try to be strong in most of these areas. We're not all strong in every area, of course. And, try to surround yourself with other good leaders who can help you and support you, that you can, you can brainstorm with. And I am not creative, so I need people that have that around me to help with that. All right, so that wraps it up. Let's see how long we talked. 34 minutes. This is all my contact information. I would love to hear from any of you. And if you want, I'm happy. I wasn't able to see the chat. Let's see here. I am happy to take any questions if anybody has a question. Robin has a question.
I have a
Okay, Robin.
question. You answered a
Can you
couple of,
unmute yourself?
I am unmuted. Can you
Oh, I
hear me
can't
now?
you. I can't. Let me see if I can do that. No.
Can anyone hear me?
Let me
I
stop
can.
sharing.
I can hear.
I'm unmuted.
Shoot, I don't have the capability. It says you're unmuted, but I can't hear you. Wait,
Here.
that's my fault. Okay, never mind.
Okay. So you answered a few of them, but all right, where was it? So the deputy district director, I know mine, but you have a DP and a DD, and what's the difference?
All right.
Because I feel like she's just everything.
Okay, so the DD is your deputy district director. That's that one. Deputy president is the link, is like Dennis's link to the clubs.
So Sue DeVille is mine. Is she not the deputy president? Who's the deputy? Where would you even, do I ask Sue who that is?
Well, you can ask Sue, or also on the website, you don't have to be in the member part, but it says search for a club. And you search by Senate district. And so you put in your Senate district, and I believe it will show your deputy president and your district director. Also, if you go on the website where it lists all the officers, it has district directors and deputy presidents. Deputy presidents are by region, and I think on there it says Region 3 has clubs and these Senate districts.
Okay, so, and then the other question is about the convention, the delegates. So we're a brand new club and we started in September, but we just got chartered.
Okay.
So does that take away the months that we were, or does it just matter on how many members we have? And then how do we elect these delegates? Because we have 46 members right now, which means we would have 4 delegates, correct? Or do they round up?
You could have 5, since you have
5.
6, since you're, over 5. So you could have 5 delegates and 5 alternates.
So the club has to elect them, or I thought the president goes anyways, or no? Like I would have to be elected to go to the convention?
Well, okay. So what our club does, it's not in our bylaws or anything, but generally, we don't usually have enough people to fill all of our spots. And usually anybody can be nominated. You at your meeting, you open up the floor for nominations to be delegates. And usually ahead of time in our board meeting, we've talked about who wants to go. And so, those people are nominated. And then if anybody else wants to go, then they can be nominated. We send out an email to the club saying, this is convention, this is how many we can send, and I think I asked in the past, please let me know, as the president, please let me know if you're interested in going,
Okay. But we pay for it individually, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so being a delegate doesn't mean that it's paid for.
No, not some.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Some clubs that have a large budget might be able to pay registration fees, ours does not. So your question about your club, it's in there, it's in the TFRW bylaws about how long you have to have been in existence, have been chartered. And I think you're okay. I don't have it in front of me. but
I'm reading it right now.
Okay.
It doesn't say anything in our bylaws about time frame. It just says
No.
how many you have to have.
right, but in the actual TFRW bylaws, it'll say it. Robin,
Okay, all right, I'll look through that because that gives me an opportunity.
and if you
to
don't
look
find
more.
it, call me or email me.
Okay, perfect.
I can get it.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome, Robin. Thank you for the questions. Sylvia, did you have a question?
I do, Kit. Can you mention the candidate endorsements by club presidents, especially in a nonpartisan election, please?
Yes. Nonpartisan elections
No.
are, they're tricky. So yes, your president and your campaign activities chair should never endorse a candidate in a primary, when you've got Republicans running against each other. They should not be endorsing. And your club, of course, cannot endorse. And our club kind of tries to stay away from municipal elections because, especially if there's two Republicans, if there's one where it's like obvious he or she's a Republican and one is obviously a Democrat, then we will work for the Republican. But still, I do think your president and your campaign chairman should never endorse.
And I think you may want to mention too, because by not endorsing, that also means you can't put out like one particular yard sign for that candidate, or even on social media, if there any kind of advertisement or vote for, that's pretty obvious.
Right.
But they, that's a good note.
Yes.
Just
Absolutely.
But your husband can.
yeah.
The spouse can. The spouse can, although some people, particularly in municipal races, things get kind of, so close to home. We had a little issue with that with our family once, but oh gosh, I lost my train of thought, Sylvia.
About the yard sign or
Yes.
the social media.
Yes, yeah, yard signs, they will get you in trouble. People will notice. And I don't like when there's Republicans running against each other. I do not like anybody's page on Facebook because that's, somebody say, well, that's an endorsement, and that can cause problems. So I just don't do it. I don't do it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Why did they, I'm going through that right now, and I actually emailed my deputy director because I put something on Facebook and then someone that I know said, you probably shouldn't do that. And so I deleted it. But then I'm the president and I understand, but like, why can't we put signs up? Like, what does that do to me because they don't want us to be connected to, I don't really understand the reasoning behind that.
Like a sign in your yard?
Yeah.
Well, that's an endorsement. And you as the president are supposed to stay, you're not supposed to be partial or endorsing anybody. So that a sign in a yard is an endorsement. And
Okay.
are there definitely two Republicans running?
Yeah.
So you can talk to your friends privately. You can tell them who you're voting for, but just publicly, you shouldn't be making any statements. And I know it can be frustrating, but
Okay.
it does keep things cleaner. Shalon?
Good morning.
I'm so glad. I meant to email you, just be sure you knew about this, but I got busy. So I'm so glad you're
That's
here.
okay. Yes, I am here and I'm glad to be here. Thank you. So I have a couple of questions. One, my district director is Anita Betty and she's awesome. I love her, but we do not have a deputy president. When is that going to change?
Well, I would say the best thing, if you know somebody up there who might be a good deputy president, talk to them, see if they're interested. The president appoints deputy presidents.
The president of TFRW?
Yes, so
Okay.
Chester appoints them. And if y'all have somebody up there that would be good and would be willing to volunteer, I would let her know that.
Okay, I'm not aware of anybody at this point, but I know that we don't have one. That's why I was asking, because I think we get more things when we have a deputy president versus just a deputy director. But again, Anita is great. There was another question I had, and not like you, my mind just went blank. So we're in the same club together. Thank you.
Yes.
What was my question? Oh, we have a big campaign going on here in Lubbock. And so several of my executive committee members were not able to be on this call because today was the very beginning of our block walking to make Lubbock a sanctuary city for the unborn. So I've got some of our people on the call and some of our people block walking. Are these calls recorded so we can go back in, not only members that couldn't be on it, but I would like to go back through all of the chats and hear what they have to say, because that way I can help lead each one of these members according to what TFRW is training us on today.
Absolutely. Every one of these is going to be recorded. Every breakout room is going to be recorded and on the website.
Okay,
So,
great.
it'll probably take about a week or so to get them on there, but
Okay,
please. And, presidents, put in your newsletter about that this happened and, have all your members and go back and listen to them if they're interested, and encourage members to consider running for an office in your club, next time, and have them gather some information on through these. I love we are able to do this. I just love it.
good.
Benefits of
Yeah. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Kelly Perry, did you have a question?
I have a couple of things that because I'm so new, I hope it can help some of those other new people.
Okay.
In our last race, it was pretty heated out where I live. And we were talking about not endorsing and endorsing. I had to be real careful because they would someone in part of the campaign would try to get a picture of me talking to the candidate so that they could post it on their Facebook page, which looked like I endorsed them.
Right.
And so you want to be real careful with that. And if you are at places, you might want to keep an eye on those people's Facebooks, because man, I caught all kinds of heck from it. I didn't know. I just didn't know not to let my picture be taken with anybody. And there are people that will be out to get you. And so if you are going to endorse somebody, this thing about president and vice president, every single time you talk, you need to say, this is Kelly Perry saying this, or this is TFRW president saying this. I never, ever even speak about a candidate unless I clarify that, because they can't wait if they think you're for somebody to come at you from the other side.
Right.
And use it against you. This is the ugliness. I'm so sorry. I have a hard question. I haven't been able to get answered this week from anybody, and I've kind of gone all the way up the ladder. When you have an executive board meeting,
Yes.
before your real meeting, can other people sit in on that? And the only thing I caught was closed. You had to say whether it was closed or open.
I believe you can. I know there's some clubs that, like, in their newsletter, I've seen, executive board meeting is this date and you're welcome to attend.
Okay.
And it may be kind of like our executive board meetings where it's open, but if you have any, business where you have to close it, you do that. But I should probably get clarification, but I don't see any reason why you couldn't.
Well, I asked Deborah and I asked Zena. Zena said yes. And then Deborah said, well, open and closed, but to check their bylaws, and their bylaws are probably 20 years old, probably have never been changed. But I just wanted to clarify that because they brought it to me and I didn't have an answer. And do district directors have to rerun every 2 years?
Yes.
Or do they? Okay, so I did not know that. And can you, because no one seems to really get this, can you just clarify for all of us the difference between a deputy president and a district director?
Okay, so the district director is the club's, she is there for your club. She is your point of contact for TFRW. So if you have any questions, if you have any problems, she's your first person to go to with issues or with help with anything. She's the first person you go to. And then if she can't help you, then she'll go up the line. Now your deputy president, I wish I had like a little flow chart, you know, your deputy president is really Glennis, the president, the TFRW president's connection to your club. So if Glennis has information, I believe I'm saying this correct, like if Glennis has information to get out, she's going to ask those deputy presidents to be sure and, you know, get that out to the clubs. I believe that's accurate. But for you guys, when you need help, you start with your district director. Does that-
Okay, thank you. Those were just some points that I keep hearing over and over. So thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you, Kelly. Does anybody else have any questions? I see our membership chair is on here now. Anybody have any membership questions? Sorry, Zaina.
I have a membership question.
Okay.
Go figure, I have another question. So, hey, Zena, when we got chartered, when does TFRW take the money? Because my treasurer, we have a new treasurer and our money is not matching. And we're trying to figure out if TFRW took the money already, or when do they start taking our check?
It's already been done, so I don't know what you're talking about, Miss Robin, but your checks have been deposited and all your memberships have been submitted.
So how long is that process usually when we submit our memberships to TFRW? What's the process of the checks?
It cannot be deposited, nor your membership submitted until the actual charter is produced by NFRW. Yours has already been added. Your charter's already been received. Yours has already been added. Yeah.
Okay.
So you
Right.
tell your treasurer she needs to check on her canceled checks. But her checks have
Okay.
all been canceled. Yeah. Because I think you had what, 2 or 3 submissions?
This month, yeah, or last, I'll have to double check it, but yeah.
I think you had 3 submissions, Robin. Give me a call later and I'll look in your folder. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Zaina.
Anytime.
Uh,
I have a membership question.
Yes.
Hi, Angela Surratt here from El Paso. How are you?
Hey, I'm great, Angela.
We've had a situation where we've had either members leave other clubs to want to come to ours, or members that were at one point with our club that have maybe decided to go to other clubs. And how generally is that handled? I know, like, in terms of our bylaws, I know it's very, very clear. I know people can be a little stubborn, and we try to explain, you know, in terms of membership, at the end of the year, and I know
Okay.
that that's very clear. So how is that? How generally, what's the best?
The process is this, Angela, because you're going in and out. First and foremost, if a member wants to transfer from one club to another, there's a transfer form available on the TFRW website that both that member and the president need to sign and submit to TFRW. If they're transferring, say from El Paso to Federated Republican Women of El Paso County, they don't have to pay membership to the club that they're transferring from, okay? Because they've already submitted their membership. That particular type of a transfer is initiated directly from TFRW to NFRW. All right, so that is a membership that takes anywhere from 2 to 4 days to initiate.
Okay.
All right.
All
The
right.
problem that you run into is this: say that the club that they're transferring from charges $40. All right, basically that $25 is what went with the member. That club should carry that member as an associate. They're not liable to give that money back to the member, so there's no refunds. What transpires between that club and that member is between that club and the member. We're totally out of the picture because basically all we're doing is initiating the transfer.
Okay.
Now, the other problem that we run into, which is a bigger problem, is this. Jane Smith belongs to El Paso, and now she joins Federated Republican Women, and she pays membership dues to that club as well. And so she signs a transfer form, and the second club adds her as a new member. All right, well, technically she already has a record with TFRW and NFRW.
Right.
Now we have to initiate a credit to the first club because they initiated that $25 payment. All right, and this woman is paying again.
Okay.
And he becomes an associate of the other club. This is where everybody says, well, we're paying double duty. Well, first and foremost, you can only be a primary member of one club. And that's why it's really important on your membership application, you put on there, you can only be a primary member of one club, and ask the member point blank, do you
Right.
belong to another club? All right, and so that type of transfer, it curtails a lot more paperwork because now we still have to make the transfer through NFRW, making them a new member of the new club. But we have to get into the aspect of credits, and it becomes a real problem. So it could be eliminated right off the bat. You know, if a member wants to transfer from one club to another, that club shouldn't be accepting the payment. They already paid it. You know, just sign the paperwork and submit the paperwork and transfer the member. The other club on the other end, oh, well, you know, you might create a little animosity between the two clubs. And that's very prevalent, that animosity, because then one club will say, oh, you're coming and taking members from our club, you know. But again, a member has the opportunity to do that if they feel they want to do that. Okay.
Thank you.
Shalon, did you have another question?
I do have another question. So I'm seeing that Robin Dino, if I'm saying that correctly, says she's president of LARW and I'm president of LARW. So I'm just curious how we both have the same names. I know our Lubbock Area Republican Women's Group, which is LARW, has been around since 2008.
I'm Leander area.
Can I answer that, please? Can I answer that?
Yes.
Ladies, I love you all, but your acronym is not your official club name. And so when we say, please don't use acronyms, this is the problem that we get into when clubs use acronyms. Don't feel like you're the only two out there that have a dual acronym. We
Okay.
have a set of clubs, 3 of them, that are SARW, and they're in all different areas of the state.
Okay.
So when we stress on forms and anything like that, please don't use your acronyms. Or, I mean, I get emails and it'll just say President LARW. I literally sometimes have to look on a list and say, oh, okay, that's who they are, because we have 161 clubs now.
Okay.
Hard to keep track of it, but acronym is not your official name. Your official
Okay.
name is your chartered name.
Okay. I was just curious.
Don't
yeah.
worry, Shalon, I won't take over your club.
Oh, I know. But I probably can have some tips
Trust
for
me.
growing because we've been growing our club. We've got over 160 members compared to last year, and it's only March. So
I know.
It's
You're
awesome.
doing fabulous out there.
thank you.
It's something with the LARWs because ours is growing too. It's in 6 months.
Robin's been on board now just a few months with her
Good.
charter, and they're growing great. So
Good. Awesome.
That's great. Kelly, did you have another question?
No, I forgot to take my hand down. I didn't know. I was supposed to.
No problem.
I've been sitting here for 20 minutes with my hand in the air. Just kidding. Thank you.
That's not a problem. All right. Well, if there aren't any other, Robin and Sylvia. Sylvia, go ahead.
Okay, this question is for Zaina. Zaina, the amount of delegates that a club determines who they're going to send to the TFRW, was that the cutoff date was March the 1st? Is that correct? Or
No. If you looked at the Convention Planning 101 that was sent out on March the 10th, okay. There's a page for NFRW and then one for TFRW convention. Under the TFRW convention, and I'm going to read it directly. It says,
Okay.
start building up your membership now. Delegate strength is determined by the number of members paid and dues submitted to TFRW no later than 60 days prior to convention, which is Saturday, August the 14th.
okay, great.
All right.
Thank you.
And I will add one more thing, and there's a really important paragraph underneath there. It says each eligible club is entitled to 1 delegate and 1 alternate for each 10 members and an additional delegate and alternate for the remainder of 6 to 9 members.
Yeah.
So if they have 56 members, they're entitled to 6 delegates and 6 alternates.
We did cover that.
Okay.
So I think Sylvia's question is good. I think is the confusion about that because NFRW said after March 1st, you're delinquent.
Right.
And is it right that if you hadn't paid by then and you were an existing member, you wouldn't be able to go to the NFRW convention or no?
No.
Okay.
So what they do is NFRW cuts you off from access for anything for NFRW until you actually renew.
Okay.
So we would have people trying to get on the NFRW website and complaining because they couldn't, and it's because they didn't pay their dues.
Okay.
That's what that comes down to. Now, I do know that for the NFRW, there is that due date kit of June the 25th that we have to submit our totals for awards.
Yes.
And so on my side for membership, our goal is 11,000 members.
Mhm.
So our goal technically is reaching that 11,000 by June the 25th.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
But do look at that Convention 101. There's a lot of good things in there. And I liked it because there were dates. And actually I had to explain to one club, and I don't know if you covered this, but they thought only delegates and alternates could go to convention.
Oh, no.
And I said, no, anybody can go.
Anybody can go, either one of them.
Anybody can go. And so,
Please
and
go.
so they were like, oh, we didn't know that. So
Yeah.
yeah.
All right. Well, if there's no other questions, I just want to thank y'all so much. And Zaina, wow, you guys got 2 for 1 here.
I'm
You got membership and president information. So please, please, please feel free to email me, call me if you have any other questions. And I've enjoyed it. Thank you all so much. Have a great rest of your day.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you very much. Y'all have a good day.